How much can you make flipping used laptops for profit? It's going to be a cheat video. We're going to be talking here, and if there are still questions, please feel free to leave all your questions in the comment section. See, this is one question I keep getting over and over and again. It's not like this is the only question I get. It's just one of the many questions. How much can I make flipping used computers, flipping laptops? Guys, I have answered these questions, not once, not twice, so many times in my previous videos. But once in a while, I always want to come here, and answer this question once again. I'm just going to drop my mic here so that my hand is kind of free, You see, like I said, once in a while, I always have to come here to put things in the proper perspective. Otherwise, some of you out there might be thinking that, flipping laptops for profit is a get-rich-quick scheme. Guys, see, there's a lot of work to be done if you decide to flip laptops, monitors, desktop PCs for profit. But if you click on this video just to find out if you can make profit or how much profit you can make, I want to tell you, you can actually make a lot of money, flipping laptops for profit. As a matter of fact, you can make, thousands of euros, of dollars, depending on where you live, flipping laptops for profit. That is a statement of fact. I know this because I have consistently done this on eBay and on my website, specifically on eBay, because in the last times I have kind of prioritized, eBay as a platform because that is where the traffic, naturally is. A lot of people, when they want to buy laptops, the first thing they want to take a look at is what is on eBay, what is, eBay offering, or what are the sellers on eBay offering. Most people just, associate eBay with used stuff. When they want to buy a monitor, want to buy a laptop, they want to buy, desktop PC, they associate, all these things with eBay. And truth be said, that is where the traffic is. And eBay is doing a lot of work to ensure that people over the world, see these listings that we put out there. So because of that, I have kind of prioritized, this website, this platform, as my primary source of selling used computers. But that's going to be changing as well, because as I go further into finding better ways to sell my stuff, I'm thinking of using, paid traffic. And this is also something I'm going to be talking a lot about on this channel. So if you're not subscribed to the channel, please do me a favor, go ahead and be subscribed. My voice is a little bit husky today, but I said to myself, it doesn't matter. I'm going to be putting you guys in the loop, trying to tell you guys that, look, you can actually make a lot of money flipping used laptops, PCs, a lot of IT hardwares, if you are ready to do the work. And the money you make pretty much depends on how much you buy your stuff, where you buy your stuff. If you have put your sourcing on lockdown, which is you have a very reliable source of hardwares, like you are the first person that is reached out to whenever a new hardware comes out, you can make literally hundreds of euros just selling each unit of a laptop or whatever it is. You can make literally 100 euros, per laptop, even more. I'm just giving you like a rough estimate. It depends on how much you buy this hardware. But if you have not put your sourcing on lockdown, which is you still have this difficulty getting very good inventories, you still have to rely on third-party sources. And what do I mean by third-party source? A third-party source is when, the source has already bought from a major supplier. In that case, this source, pretty much what you call the middleman, is already, reducing the amount of profit that you can possibly make. And if you come to buy from this middleman source, yes, your profit might be highly, highly reduced, but it also gives you a very good way to constantly have, inventories. Because sometimes if you want to continue to depend on just one superhero supplier, you might have difficulties, because there might be a time where the supplier doesn't have a lot of inventories, and in that case, you are kind of stuck. So the best combination is for you to kind of have one superhero supplier and also, buy from these third-party suppliers. In that way, you guarantee that you have a shop that constantly have, stuff. And when you are buying from the third-party supplier, you are looking at about 50, 60, 70 euros profit on every unit you sell. And sometimes, if it is very bad, you're looking at 30 euros. And when it's bad, I mean that on a particular item, let's say Lenovo ThinkPad, you have a lot of people selling the same item. So the competition is pretty much like breakneck competition. Then you have to do what you have to do. In this case, you only have to reduce, the amount of profit that you plan to make on a particular item. Because truth be said, the competition in this area is pretty much referred to as breakneck competition. Everybody wants to sell their stuff, and people keep bringing different kind of hardware. Sometimes I'm just telling myself, I go out, I buy some stuff, and I'm happy coming home thinking that I am the only one that have this item. I go onto eBay to try to take a look. Boom, somebody's already there with a very, very bad price, and I have no other choice but to actually go ahead, reduce my price. Yes, it's a war situation, and you have to do what you have to do. Of course, if you are buying from a third-party supplier, you should be ready to make, reduced profit. And once again, if you take a look at it, 30 euro on a particular unit is really not so small, because the beautiful thing is that you have a direct guarantee on the item that you are buying. If you go out there now, you buy an iPad or a tablet or a Lenovo ThinkPad or a HP Li desk, there is a direct guarantee on that item. It's going to sell. It's not going to sit forever. I'm presupposing that you're actually buying, stuffs, clean items in the best conditions. But if you go out there and buy, items I refer to as short, which is they have all manner of scratches, all manner of signs of use, you might pretty much have to sit on that item for a very, very long time. This video is assuming that you are going for grade A goods, which is highly, clean goods, signs of use very minimal, technically sound. In that case, you have a direct guarantee on the item that you are buying. And if you are going out there, buying 10, 15, 20 units, you can pretty much do the math. You can be sure that that money is going to come back to you, all things being equal. Yes, all things being equal, because there is something that you have to factor into the equation, which is people will naturally return your item. Because these items, this category is very, very premium. People want to buy stuff. You have people, coming from far and wide, all trying to lay their hands on the decent hardware that you've listed there. You also kind of attract a lot of disgruntled buyers, people that do not just mean well for sellers. They go to the platform, buy whatever they have to buy. Their sole intention is to return that item. I do not know why that is so. Sometimes they buy very expensive items, expensive laptops for 400 euros, 500 euros. The items get delivered and they return it and tell you that there's just no reason why they're returning it. I've received this kind of return request, not once, not twice. People just return your item, and instead of the person telling you, I'm returning it because it's too slow, doesn't meet my need, it's just too big or it's too small, they just write there, no reason. And that kind of breaks my head. Of course, when returns comes, we are very, very open to accepting it. It is what it is. The thing is, you have to strive to sell more units, every month if you want to be able to make consistent income with this category. And that is pretty much where the challenge is. How do you guarantee that you constantly have sales? You sell laptops, ranging from 50, 60, 70, 80 units in a month. That, my friends, I'm telling you, if you have very good prices, it's pretty much doable. But if you are buying from third-party sources, then you might be thinking of, selling like 10, 15, 20 units, depending on the market situation. There have been instances where I struggled to sell 6 units of laptop in a month because the market was brutal. There were so many prices destroying things. There have also been months where I sold over 120 units of laptops. I'm just, focusing on laptop because this video is about flipping laptop for profit. But when you combine everything that you have to sell on your shop, desktop PCs, laptops, monitors, and you do your homework very well, yes, you can actually make a lot of money doing this. Another thing you have to factor in is the fact that there is a lot of work to be done. Like I said in the very beginning of this video, it is not a get-rich-quick scheme. There is a lot of work to be done. You're going to wake up in the morning, you're going to carry heavy equipment, you're going to clean these laptops, you're going to troubleshoot them, you're going to run into difficulties. But like I said, if you are determined and saying to yourself, I want to succeed, you keep pushing, you keep, pushing through all the problems that might come along, you are definitely going to find a way to make money, flipping laptops and making profit doing it. And some of the problems that might come is that you suddenly go out there, you buy some stuff and you bring them home, try to plug them and realize that the item is broken. And if you have bought these items for very, very expensive price, you have pretty much lost money. See, up till now, I'm not going to tell you that I have figured out that aspect, because electronic devices being what they are prone to getting broken for whatever reason. There might be so many reasons for an electronic device like a laptop so suddenly just stop working. There's nothing like I was being so careful, or I'm going to be very, very careful as to avoid that. it is what it is. It might happen, and when it happens, most times you have to chew it and move on. But the beautiful thing is that if an electronic device gets destroyed, or a laptop or a desktop PC, that is not the end of the story. There are still a lot of things you can do with it. You still can pull out very vital parts from the hardware, let's say the keyboard in the case of a laptop, or if it's a desktop PC, you can pull up the RAM sticks, which by the way is very, very expensive right now. You can pull up, the power supply, the main board, and still go ahead to sell it depending on where the fault is coming from. So there are a lot of ways to actually make money in this area. Beautiful thing again is that you can actually make money selling broken items. These are items that you buy pretty much less to nothing. But because the way the electronic market is, people are always looking for parts to fix, working laptops, working desktop PCs. And if you come to that point and supply the market what it wants, give them the kind of power supply they want, the kind of processor, the kind of RAM sticks, the kind of DVDs, the kind of whatever it is, there's going to be somebody somewhere that's going to pay you for that part that you have. And I have done it over and over and over and again. Sometimes I try to document my processes, making videos for this channel. But because you are not subscribed to this channel, these videos never ever get to find you. So I want to encourage you, please go ahead and be subscribed. Click on the like button. Until I see you again in the next one. Peace out.